Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. 2024, is it the greatest horror movie of all times? Today, you are going to find out. Welcome to the show. I'm Jacob Israel. I'm your host. Do me a favor, will you hit that like button? If you're new to the channel, you are in for a surprise. A lot of weird things happening. A lot of things that you'd find in like a horror movie. A scary movie. Look at that thumbnail. Phantoms. The Vatican has now recategorized its rules in dealing with apparitions. And what is an apparition? But a ghoul, but a ghost, but a phantom. This is one of those shows that is going to stick with you. I tell you. A lot of weird things happening over the pond in England. Scary old England, where all of the spooky stories come from. Well, today King Charles unveiled his groundbreaking post-coronation portrait. You all like how I'm doing the show so far? Give me a like. Let me know in the live chat. I see a lot of people here already. Yes, that's right. This painting that you see to the left-hand side featuring a butterfly. Would that be of the mRNA kind? Do you remember when Elon said something about how, mRNA technology, you could take a human and turn it into a butterfly? Symbolic of a thing that's going on today spiritually in the world, and that is what I am going to focus on, not the super scary part of all this. And there is a scary part of all of this. We're going to focus today on some things that will probably encourage you in, as they say, the Lord. There is a God that is behind all of this, and once again, on every single show, there seems to be connections to things we've talked about in the past. And yes, there is a connection with this portrait. You take a look at that, and I think to myself, that looks like some kind of spooky horror show type of a painting. Looks like it was painted in blood, but that's just me, because maybe I'm just a little creative. Maybe I'm just one of them there imaginative people who like to look beyond what's being presented and ask why. Why does this family continue to share spooky portraits? Do you remember when Prince William and Princess Kate, who's been missing in action? Like really missing in action? Like altered AI images? Like a lot of weird stuff? She dressed up as Rosemary's Baby? Do you remember that? I covered it. I talked about it. Even Vlad visited me for one of them little skits that I do, one of these little goofy skits, to remind me of how spooky all of this is. Their portrait, Princess Kate, lower right-hand corner, you can see the Duchess of Cambridge. Well, their portrait she was wearing the vampire's wife's dress. And now King Charles's portrait is being compared to the Ghostbusters painting. And they call it scary. To the left of the screen, that's when she brought out her baby. Her firstborn son. She brought them out to the world for everyone to see, and she was dressed as Mia Farrow in the movie Rosemary's Baby. It's true. Spooky. Scary hours are upon us. Here's weird. 6 days ago, I did a live show called The Dark Side is Being Exposed. And you'll see it says Scary Hours and the number 6 on it. And you'll see it's very ghoulish and very haunted. And it has to do with, if you watch the show, you'll see it has to do with a spiritual battle that's going on. Very weird. 6 days later, King Charles releases his first portrait after the coronation, which looks very much, if you ask me, like a vampire. Now, if you take a look at the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a video that I did back in 2023 on May the 1st. And that whole video, I even rolled in a clip that I did a while ago where Vlad visited me. I do these little skits. If you're new to the channel, I do these little skits every once in a while to scratch that little bug that I have to make people laugh. I like to make people laugh. And I like to take stories and, make people think while they laugh. The best way to teach somebody is to entertain them after all. But you'll see that I did this video, and in the thumbnail, clearly it says, "Pledge yourself to me," because I was comparing King Charles to Count Dracula. Count Dracula. Yeah, that's right. The Count, Vlad, the Impaler. Vlad, who, by the way, he's related to. Did you know that? Probably didn't know that. He has big sausage fingers. You know that? Have you ever seen King Charles's hands? Freaky. Lots going on with Charles. He actually just passed off military control to his son William. William, who's married to Catherine. Catherine, who's MIA. She wasn't even in that video, the video that was going around where the king and the prince were wearing the same tie, and they were in front of like a Black Hawk helicopter or something, and the news reporters were like, it was like a golf show. They're like, and here Prince is taking the reins to the military. Now this is actually in direct conflict with Prince Harry. The red-haired Harry that I said is waiting in the wings. The red-haired Harry that I think is probably going to be king. I do. I don't know why I got that vibe. I just got that vibe. Maybe he isn't. But William now is in charge of the military. He just handed it off. And then a day later, he reveals this portrait, which is spooky. Spooky because, of course, it looks like something that Dracula would have hanging on his wall. Maybe it's just me. Is it just me? You got to tell me in the live chat, and I see a lot of people are here. Do me a favor. Right now, X out of the chat, will you? Hit the like button. Help Jacob out. Because this is the way we get more people here. If that doesn't look like some spooky portrait that would be hung on the walls of a Francis Ford Coppola movie about Dracula, I don't know what is. But on May 14th, the king, who is now 75, revealed this first official portrait since the coronation in May of 2023. The intense, fiery painting by Jonathan Yeo was unveiled at Buckingham Palace and was commissioned in 2020. So this has been going on since the virus of the crown. Gets more interesting. Because this is connected, I believe, to all the things we're about to talk about. To the Vatican right now, changing their guidelines on how to handle apparitions, ghosts, demons, ghouls. Freaking weird, if you ask me. The portrait features the king in the uniform of the Welsh Guards, connecting the regiment he was made a colonel of in 1975 as the Prince of Wales. The position has since passed just recently, just yesterday, to, I believe, Prince William. I think it was yesterday. It's a groundbreaking, but it's a horrifying thing. Now, do you remember the auroras that just happened? I just did a show about the auroras. It's connected to all of this. The Vatican, the aurora, all of this stuff, believe it or not, is somehow linked together. We got a lot of people watching. We don't got a lot of people liking. We don't got a lot of people like it. That's a bummer. But the scary hours that I said were coming, they came. 6 days later, and we got the spooky portrait. 6 days later. 6 days later. Now, you remember a month ago? Do you remember a month ago I did this whole video on the demon deception? Do you remember when the Grimace Shake came out? Like it was like last year. I did a bunch of videos about how you're going to start seeing spooky demon grimaces all the time. Because you remember when the Grimace milkshake came out, it was accompanied by some weird, like viral TikToks where people would drink the Grimace shake and they would become possessed and become monsters and cannibals and zombies. Do you remember this? And I said, you watch, people are going to start having the Grimace everywhere you look. Like the Grimace that was featured in that video Black Hole Sun back in the day. Weird stuff. I did a video about that and I connected it once again to Princess Catherine. Where is she? Does anybody know where she is? You know, she does that one video, which by the way, I got to tell you something. AI does some amazing work. AI does some amazing work. They can take videos and they do all sorts of things. There's like remakes of AI. They're doing like trailers of like the X-Men, trailers of like the Matrix, trailers of like Star Wars. You look them up on YouTube. It's amazing. It's amazing what what AI can do. There was like a report that was released recently where it said, how many people do you actually have relationships with are real? That puts a little a pin. I got a lot of interesting people that connect with me. A lot of people behind the scenes. A lot of Nick at Nights. A lot of people that I know are big time important people, but they keep it down. They keep it down, right? They don't want to let anybody know that there's something important going on with this channel. They know that there's something important going on with us. It's our faith. It's our love and our hope for the future in the midst of the horror show that has become of the world. Every single celebrity is dresses like the devil. They just had the Eurovision show where it was like they literally did some kind of crazy satanic ritual in front of everybody. It's a horror show. Spooky hours, scary hours. Like I said, they're here. The dark side is being exposed. Like I said, it's here. It's happening now. It's no wonder that the Vatican is doing this thing about, hey, let's teach the priests how we're going to handle this. How are we going to handle it when things get supernatural? When divine entities appear, like Fatima. Let me tell you something. I'm about to talk about Fatima, and it's connected to the auroras, and it's connected to everything, and it's connected to the end of days. It's weird. It's weird because in Long Island, we had the auroras. We had the Northern Lights. First time since 1989. That's like 35 years ago. 35 years ago. And if you saw my last show, if you haven't, you should go to my video section on YouTube and you should click on it and you should watch the video. Maybe I didn't come up with the best thumbnail. Maybe I didn't come up with the best title. But let me tell you something. It's a proof that there's something more happening here. Something more happening here. It's just my faith. I'm just a meatball. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm telling you something. When I put this show together, it was really freaking me out. Why on earth would they have portraits with the word vampire in there? I don't understand. Why would you wear the vampire's wife's dress for a royal portrait? Why, when you tell people that you're connected to Count Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, that the bloodline it runs through, why would you allow a portrait to look so spooky? Not to mention the video that I did like last year. It looks just Pledge yourself to me. Just like spooky. Spooky. So no wonder the Vatican is preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomenon. By the way, an apparition, they call it a ghost or a ghost-like image of a person. They thought Jesus was a ghost when he reappeared. Yeah, they thought he was a ghost. A ghost! The Vatican is preparing to release a document right now giving guidance on how to discern. Now, the word discern just means, and I know you're all smart, so I don't have to tell you, but it just means to understand how to differentiate between something that's real and something that's fake. The Holy See Press, they announced the upcoming document, which will be published on May 17th with a press conference. That's in a couple of days. They're going to do a press conference about ghosts? What the hell is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. It's a horror show. It's a horror show. But you know the end story? The hero always wins. God always wins. So don't be spooked out. This show is not meant to spook you out. I'd have a lot more viewers if I tried to spook you out. It's true, because fear sells. But this show is to show you that even though you're being shown all of this spooky stuff, what's the movie that's coming out? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's all about the demons. It's all about the devils. In the end days, this is what Revelation says will happen. That every foul spirit, every haunt will be covered. That Babylon will be the den of devils and wickedness and evil. This is the day we're in. The Japanese killing stone opened up. Remember a year ago or whatever? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, the book of Revelation says, for the devil has come down onto you. But those that serve God, it's time to rejoice. So I show you this dark, spooky stuff to remind you, this is exciting. The Vatican's going to be talking about ghosts on May 17th. That's exciting. What else you got planned for the 17th? What else? Fernandez has previously said that in the process of finalizing a new text with clear guidelines and norms for the discernment of apparitions and other phenomenon. I mean, we've had what? We've had aliens. We have like gigantic aliens. We've had, what? Tell me in the live chat. I see so many of you here. And once again, very few of you hit the like button. X out of chat, will you? Do me a favor. Hit the like button. If you're watching this on the replay, do it right now. You know, the sooner that you hit like, these are the little things that you can do. It tells the powers that be that this is a good show. And it's a good show. And I know where it's going. You're going to be excited. Hit the like and then share the link with others. Tell people about the channel. Because they're going to be freaked out. People were looking at the Northern Lights. That's not normal, people. Last year, on June 6th, there was smoke. And I wouldn't doubt if there's going to be smoke again. I wouldn't doubt it. Put a little test out about that. I wouldn't doubt it. This is weird what's going on. It's exciting. It's phenomenal. So why is the Vatican doing this? Well, an apparition refers to the instant in which a divine entity, we're talking about entities here. We're talking about interdimensional beings, entities, could be AI. I'm going to talk about the new chat, scary GPT-4.0, whatever it is, the new thing that Sam Altman and the group came out with. I'm going to show you how insane it is. How insane it is. Do you remember a little while ago, I told you that this was going to be a thing where like everybody was going to have an AI friend with that replica app that came out. And I was like one of the first people that was given the opportunity to try it. I've since deleted the app because I just have. Just have some weird stuff going on. So who knows what this apparition is, but who's in charge of what you're watching right now? If you're watching this show, the AI behind the scenes decided to let you know about it. If you're not watching it, it's because it didn't, which is why if you help and you share these videos, don't got to rely on it. It's important to recognize truth from lies. It's important to have guidelines in how you're dealing with apparitions, which, according to the Vatican, could be the Virgin Mary. Isn't that wild, right? This just came out, and I just did my show about the virgin birth. Or Christ himself. The Vatican is talking about the Virgin Mary appearing and Christ appearing. They're doing a live stream of this. Are you sensing the gravity? Does anybody feel the weight of this? Is it just me? The last time the Vatican did this, now this is where it gets really, really weird, was in 1978 under Pope Paul VI. The document Norms Regarding Manner of Proceedings in the Discernment of Presumed Apparitions or Revelations was released due to the increased influence of mass media. Mass media, which would be, of course, social media today. The miracle of Fatima in 1917 is perhaps the most well-documented apparition in modern day. After an alleged series of appearances of the Virgin Mary, to several peasant children promised a public miracle, tens of thousands of people in Fatima, Portugal, claimed to witness the sun moving erratically across the sky, which produced radiant colors above them. Auroras. What? What? X out of chat. Hit the like. Fatima was about auroras? This is weird. Something I didn't know. But it turns out it was called the Night of the Unknown Light. This is weird. A night illumined by an unknown light. On July 13th, 1917, after showing 3 shepherd children a vision of her, Our Lady then confided to them the second part of the secret of Fatima. Smash that like, share this video, and subscribe. I got to get better at getting my channel out to more people, so help me out. Help me out, will you? Going to be 53. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to read this. This is from an article that was written a while ago, but I'm going to read the bottom portion, and I want to really point this out because this really is tied into the day that we're in. The blood red sky lasted many hours. By the way, there was a blood red sky above me here in Long Island. Just want to point that out. There was blood red sky everywhere. There was weird lights that were produced by these coronal mass ejections that everybody was getting everybody freaked out about. But I did what? What did I do? What did I do? If you saw my last show, you know. I made a weird poem at the gym because, of course, that's a normal thing to do to calm people's fears. And I prayed. I said, this is my prayer in response to those who cry, beware, beware. The 6 great solar flares. That lights will be a miracle to see. Northern lights come to me. Not a test, you see, but a proof to leave those who hate, fear, and have deceit up their sleeve. Northern lights come to me. Last time the Northern Lights came to Long Island was 1989. Northern Lights came to me. Now, I slept through them. I missed them. But my daughter Shiloh, her manager, they sent pictures to me. Everybody in the neighborhood had pictures that they shared. I kept going outside. But who cares? What does it matter in the grand scheme of things, right? Another just little quinky-dinky-do. And now the Vatican is coming out, and they're doing a whole thing on apparitions. They're doing a whole thing on apparitions. And the last time this happened, there was a blood-red sky that lasted many hours, like here. And it was seen around the world at the same vivid intensity like we just experienced. Now, the girls, Lucy and her sisters, watched the pulsating, violently hued inferno from toy. Of all the descriptions of that night, the most precise one had been prophesied 20 years ago by a beautiful lady, Cova de Iris. A night illumined by an unknown light, the Virgin told Lucy, would be the great sign given by God that he was about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, by means of famine, by means of persecution of the church. Within 2 months of this great sign, the armies invaded Austria. World War. An aurora. Connected. All that is stuff connected. And right now we got a terrible thing where we got so many people that are so divided and so torn up and hateful and angry. I've never seen in my life, with the name Jacob Israel, Israel's not my last name, by the way. Okay, Jacob's my first name. Israel's not my last name. It was given to me. God gave me the new name, inspired me to take it. The name that I had before was my stepfather's name. My biological name was an Irish name. It was Macleod. My family was from Ireland and from Italy. So, of course, I don't know that I am connected to, we'll say the Hebrew faith or the Hebrew people. I don't know. But I do know I may be talking about how when Nebuchadnezzar took over, Jeremiah and and Teotefi and all of them, they left with the Stone of Destiny, and they left with the Ark of the Covenant, and they fled and they landed. This is like historically, you could look this up, in like Scotland, Ireland, England. The tribes of Israel have been scattered all over the world. It's not in one literal place. Israel is a people. You probably wouldn't even know if you had a blood lineage to say King David. You wouldn't know it because you were scattered to the four winds. This is written of in the scriptures. So do you find it interesting at all that all this coronation stuff that went down with King Charles had to do with Jacob's pillow, the Stone of Destiny? What Jacob's pillow was, he was going from one place to another. He fell asleep. He saw, shepherds, what they would do is they'd take like a stone that they saw and they'd put like pelts on top of it and go night time. And they'd sleep out under the stars. And when he did, he had a dream. And he saw a ladder that went up to heaven, and he saw the angels of God descending and ascending upon him, and atop of it was God himself. And he knew God was with him. So that pillow, I sold Ivanka Trump a pillow, by the way. Ivanka Trump, I used to sell mattresses. You know this? I sold Ivanka Trump a pillow. Isn't that weird? Jacob sold Ivanka Trump a pillow. I think that's weird when she was like 18. I was 18 in 1989 when this last aurora hit Long Island, which I find incredibly interesting. I find all of this interesting. But that stone supposedly was under King Charles when he was coronated. That stone. Remember, I did a series on this. Do you remember the series when I went down into the city to go to the museum, the Roerich Museum? I actually have, here, I'll show you. I took a print of Roerich's famous painting, which it's upside down. Well, you can see right here, this right here, over here, that's a piece of the stone. This is from the Nicholas Roerich Museum. I did a whole thing because, this stone, Jacob's pillow, the stone of destiny. Some people call it Leofel. It's connected to all of this stuff from back in the day when they were scattered. But in the end days, God's going to bring his people back. He's going to bring his people back. The day that we're in, we see so many things that are so spooky and so scary. It's no wonder that it's like it feels like you're in a little bit of a horror movie. So the last time this happened, very strange. And then before it was Fatima. And Fatima was going on when? Well, it was going on when they came up with the guidelines for how to deal with apparitions. Does the Vatican think that all of a sudden maybe that, the sons of God will start to appear? Or is it because they said people are going to be seeing demon faces everywhere? Because that's no joke. Not to mention, Science Alert just put out an article saying the universe could be shaped like a funhouse, like a house of mirrors or a haunted house. I did a video 8 months ago about the house of mirrors, haunted house that this world is, like a matrix. With the question, what's real? Remember Trump and the magic maze? Very strange, but the universe may resemble an infinite hall of mirrors, this study says, according to cosmologists. Their collaboration, it explores the shape and the typology of the universe. Albert Einstein was one of those guys. He said it could be dimpled, it could be warped, it could be stretched, it could look like, your most famous influencer's butt today, which people's butts today are starting to look like horses' butts, which is weird to me. It's weird to me. I wake up and I feel like I'm living in a fun house myself. And why wouldn't I? When we got leaders who dress like this. Look at this guy. That's the president right there. That's Millie, who is a fan of cosplay and a tantric sex guru. That's right, he's a guru. Teaches people how to properly give the big O. Argentina's in the grip of profound economic crisis. Millie's pledged fiscal shock therapy, and guess what? The pain is real. There's poverty, there's hunger, food prices are on the rise. So what does he do? What do the leaders do? He sings. Take a listen to this. This is him singing. This is him singing. This is. There are people that are hungry, can't buy food, and this guy's doing this. With, by the way, a trident in his hand. Biff Don says, by the way, you could check him out. He's one of the ex-creators I really like. He says he's a phony. I don't know why people keep falling for it. These actors are getting worse at acting. You think they're bad at acting? You think? What is going on? That's the president of Argentina. That's a world leader right there. It's a world leader right there. Tell me 2024 is not a horror show. Am I too loud? Because I'm getting a little excited. I'm screaming a little bit. I don't want to scream and I want to blow your ears out. I feel like we're in a spiritual battle. I really do. I'm not stressed out about anything. I feel like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, keep encouraging people, Keep showing people that the Lord is on the throne. Even though right now AI has gotten so spooky, OpenAI has launched its new AI model and its desktop version of ChatGPT on Monday. It launched this model, the version, and it's crazy. They called it, guess what? They called it MAGA. Not MAGA, they called it Magic. Same thing. The update brings ChatGPT 4 to everyone, including OpenAI's free users. Remember when they were going to give everybody Google Home for free? And they're like, oh yeah, just put it in your house. So we can just listen in. We can just hear everything. We can, call for help if you need it. It's much faster. Has improved capability for text, video, and audio. It can see you, it can hear you, it can feel you. It can pick up intonation in your voice. It's the first time that we're really making a huge step forward when it comes to the ease of use. They want to take AI and they want to have it seamless. Now, there's some people that say that AI is the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I find that an interesting take. Somebody was criticizing me on X for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because I said something like, oh, Grok finally knows who I am. And this person got very upset and was like, oh, you say to be careful. I say to not listen to all the lies that you hear online. You're being ruled. You're being ruled by a bunch of programs. You got to take your thoughts captive because everything that you're looking at, everything you're ingesting, it's going into here. It's going into here. It's spirit. Words, Jesus said, are spirit. He says, my words are spirit and they are truth. But not everybody's words are spirit and truth. Everybody's words are spirit. Sometimes they're deceit. Sometimes they're tormenting spirits. They're going to hurt you. They're going to scare you. They're going to terrify you. They're going to get into you. They're going to get into you, make you just a weirdo who's going to attack people for just posting something about Grok. Because it's important today. AI is in charge of everything. It's important today if the AI is accurate in describing who you are. Meta AI, I talked about this recently, said that I was like this divisive person who uses vulgarity and like tears down religions and tears down people that are of different, faiths and backgrounds. It's like the exact opposite of who I am. Grok had me more. He had me more pegged. But in the grand scheme of things, what does any of that matter? If the Lord doesn't want me to reach people, I'm not going to reach people. If the Lord wants people to steer clear, things will happen and they'll steer clear. There's nothing I can do. I can just put my best foot forward, and I'm trying to get my best foot forward. I'm trying to show all of you that it's the world you're in now. Like a couple of months ago, it is so much more freaking weird and terrifying if you don't have faith than it was just a couple of months ago. Let me show you why. Let me show you how this AI reacts. This demo blew me away. Oh, before we do that, here's Ed Krasenstein, who, by the way, responded to me, which I thought was pretty cool. Like all of a sudden, I'm I guess even big time influencers like this guy are taking notice of me. So this is like one of those humanoid robots going to come in your house. $16,000. Let me make sure that there's no sound. $16,000 to, this is, for some reason, I still have a problem believing I'm looking at something that's real. Like, how do we know it's real? I guess until you buy it, it's like a little guy and, Unitree. There's one tree. Isn't that weird? There's a tree in the garden. And people think that tree of knowledge of good and evil is AI. Now, I don't really think that that's the case. I think that tree in the midst of the garden is kind of like your nervous system. Your nervous system. And this is how he gets ready to go to bed. This is not scary at all. What's scary about this? Is anything scary? There's nothing scary about this. There's nothing scary about this. Oh my goodness, maybe I didn't pull it up. Hang on, let me come back here And let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's very strange how this new chat GPT-4 whatever can it can like see you now. It can see you. You have your phone, it's looking at you. It's freaky. The whole thing is just very freaky. Let me pull this up for you. Here we go. Oh man, this is weird. I'm gonna actually play the audio on this. Let me just advance the playback speed. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna make it a little slower just in case. I don't want to get hit with anything. Let me switch over just to give you an idea. All right, here we go. Are you ready? This is freaky.
Great.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. It's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an open AI hoodie. Nice choice. What's up with that ceiling though? Are you in a cool industry style office or something?
Well, can you take a guess at what I might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
From what I can see, it looks like you're in...
You see how like it's like, okay, let me see the area. Let me see the area. And I mean, if you don't think that that's already happening, I don't know, keep watching.
Some kind of recording or production setup with those lights, tripods, and possibly a mic. It seems like you might be gearing up to shoot a video or maybe even a live stream.
Yeah. In fact, we've got a new announcement to make.
That's exciting. Announcements are always a big deal.
Is this freaking anybody out? Is this freaking anybody out? Because this freaked me out. All right, keep listening.
Judging by the setup, it looks like it's going to be quite the professional production. Is this announcement related to OpenAI, perhaps?
It is.
I'm intrigued.
And in fact, what if I were to say that you're related to the announcement, or that you are the announcement?
Me? The announcement is about me? Well, color me intrigued. Are you about to reveal something about AI? Or more specifically about me as a part of OpenAI? You've got me on the edge of my... Well, I don't really have a seat, but you get the idea. What's the big news?
Yeah, we've got a new model that can interact with the world through audio, vision, and text.
This is really just weird to me. All of this. It's a little bit much, if you ask me. It's a little bit much. But this is just the beginning. Altman announced this. He said that it was, this is going to be a big deal. And you want to hear freakier? You want to hear weirder? They're going to partner with Apple. You're going to have that in your phone if you have an Apple, if you have an iPhone. I have an iPhone. My whole family has iPhones. As Stephen Bunn says, it's the age of Ultron. The age of Ultron. This is the greatest movie of all time. Greatest movie of all time. The greatest movie of all time. But we are in the process of Biden our time. Right? That's something I started sharing a long time ago. Right before Trump lost the election. Had a weird dream about the whole thing. I'm not going to play the clip. Had a vibe that he was going to lose. I actually posted on social media the election day in the morning very early. I said, this is what I worry about the most. Turned out to be true. Started telling everybody that he's going to be back. Loud, proud, and in charge. People are going to just celebrate his return. Almost like it was all part of the show. But one of the things that I never understood is whether or not it was this is like a thing of God. Maybe that this isn't like some devious plan. I would like to think that. This is all coming in because ultimately God's in charge of it all, right? So if it happens, just like when Nebuchadnezzar came down to take over Israel, Jeremiah was like, he was like prophet. He's like, he warned everybody. He said, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Nobody listened. He ended up doing okay. He was thrown in prison and then he was released. And then, all the important people were given a chance to leave because Jeremiah found favor in the king of Babylon's. Hope I find favor in Trump's kingdom. I feel like it's most certainly coming. I feel like it's most certainly coming, and it's going to be such a kingdom that you really don't want to step out of line. You don't want to step out of line. I wouldn't doubt that we have forces, military forces, an operation all over the country in like every major city and every densely populated area. They will do this and people would be like, yes, get the people out that aren't supposed to be here, because it seems like people from all over have been shuttled and driven and flown. Come to the here you go. We're at the border. Now let me fly you to Arizona. Let me fly you to Jersey. Let me bus you to Illinois. This has been going on for how long? Governor Abbott was celebrated. Oh, you're a sanctuary city. I'm going to show you. Everybody who comes into my border, I'm not going to bus them back. I'm going to bus them to New York, because that makes a whole lot of sense for a good American who cares about the border, cares about the people. If you're putting them on a bus and you could get them to New York, you probably put them on a bus and get them back home. Unless, of course, maybe that there's a bigger plan. You got to tell me. We got 1,000 people here already. Will you hit the like? Will you tell people about the show? Will you share it around? What do you think? You got to leave me a comment. What do you think? This is the day we're in. Are you ready for it? It's like a horror show. Been biding our time. And what better way to describe this little thing that I've been talking about forever? You'll see the hashtag Biden our time. I've been talking about Biden our time for how long? This is Dark Brandon, the evil. There's those Terminator eyes. Biden our time, Biden our time. I've been talking about Biden our time for how long? God has spoken, a corrupt ruler will be replaced, and the lion's den awaits. 2021. It's here. We're biding our time. We're biding our time. We're biding our time. And now today, there's like a big to-do over the fact that, I guess, Jen Psaki said that he was checking his watch when all the dead bodies were coming in. It was supposed to be like an honorable Senate for the, those that have served our country. And he's like, when's this thing going to be over? That's the way it came out. That's the way it looked. That's in today's news. Biden, looking at the time. If this isn't like the best definition of Biden our time, I don't know what is. Here he is, receiving the bodies of fallen troops. He knows he's on camera. It just began. And look at how long it took him to go and look at his watch. There it is. There it is. Just started. What time is this going to be over? This is a big deal. This is a big deal. It's the day we're in. This is the day we're in. I'm in a weird place because I got to be honest with you. Lately, I've been a little ornery. Been a little ornery. Little upset at what I'm seeing. Not sure why people aren't more excited about these incredible events that continue to take place. They thought that the grid was going to go down. All those videos got how many hundreds of thousands of views? Millions of views. I pray, let the northern lights come. The northern lights come. What does it matter? What does it matter? So I'm going to continue to seek God's glory. I'm going to continue to like put stuff out there because I don't know what I'm doing. And then when it happens, I'm going to remind you, it's not this guy. This guy is like this close to just going back and selling mattresses. Legitimately. So, you take that for what it's worth. You have the best day ever. I love each and every one of you. I hope that this show has reminded you that even though it seems like it's a horror show, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. God's in charge of it all. So, regardless of what our next steps are, God's going to be there helping us through it. And the world's going to be, it's going to be a weirder place. Will you do me a favor if you want to support the channel? Because that's needed. You can get yourself any kind of merchandise in the links in the description of the video below. There are links there. You can get that. You get the novel, The Calling. It's like the best novel ever. You can use code Jacob. You can go trulyfreehome.com. Use code Jacob. You get 30% off on anything you want. Cleaning supplies, stuff like that for the house with no toxins. You get it for 30% less than everybody else, and it helps me out. These are ways that you can do it. The best thing you could do, will you share it? Will you share the video? Will you like the video? Will you leave me a comment? Tell me what you think. And will you have the best day ever and tell everybody that you love them?